All right, so we're almost to GamerGate. I got one more question here before we get to that. Um, what do you think of the culture
Which culture?
by Iain M Banks, the books?
Oh, I don't know those books.
Oh my God, you need to read them.
Interesting. What is it? What are they?
Uh, it is it's a series of books about this fictional society, as you would expect from a fictional novel, I suppose. A series of fictional novels. Each book is sort of its own story, but they're all set in their own universe, basically. Um, and it's a like post scarcity society where it's like borderline anarchist, but like I guess like some democratic elements because like they do have a referendum to go to war.
Mm,
Um, but essentially everyone can do whatever the fuck they want essentially, and
okay.
there's a lot of artificial intelligence that is highly advanced and they have equal rights and so do aliens, like think Star Trek but even better. But it explores it's Star Trek but they're interventionist actually. Let's think of it that way, and they're also more libertarian. They're more libertarian than the Federation, in the sense of anyone can do whatever they want and it's post scarcity. um, but and they they actually believe in a sort of benevolent interventionism, where in
Okay.
some cases they think that it's better to, which I actually agree. In some cases, it's better to intervene. Like I support Ukraine. Um, we can talk about that if you want, but they
I'd
believe
rather
that
not.
they think that they think that in some cases it's better for more advanced civilizations to help lesser civilizations develop and grow. And they also believe too that some cases when you're faced with certain threats, like in the first book, I'm not going to spoil anything, that violence against an outside party is acceptable. And but they're mostly like a pretty libertarian people, and I
Right.
agree with
Right.
I this is sort of like my ideal world. I'm
Right.
but it's a phenomenal book series. I'm reading Accession right now. It's one of the like I don't know if it's one of the later books because I kind of skipped a couple of them because like
Hmm.
you don't have to read them in order because like they're all set in the same universe but they're completely independent stories.
Oh, they're not like a sequential
No,
like.
no, no, no.
Okay.
Though they're occasionally they'll make references to things that happen in the other books.
There's a shared history, but they're not
Yeah,
sequential.
yeah, they're not sequential.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'll have to check
Consider
that out.
Phlebas is the first one, and it is great. It actually takes the Horza Gorbachev. He might have a third part of his name too, but he's a really interesting character. He's actually against the culture. So like what they love to do is most of the author he explores different things in different ways. So like every book is
Hmm.
like completely different. Um, but this is the first one. It's actually most of the books are set around characters who exist around the fringes of the society
Hmm.
rather than within the mainstream of the society. And
Right.
one of the main characters actually in the first book, there's like Perostik Valveda and there's Horza Gorbachev. I'm sure I'm butchering that, but he's actually against the society. So like his whole thing is that he's working against the culture and has like a very
Right.
strong ideological opposition to this sort of um, civilizational death of I don't know if you call it like civilizational death, but like the death of the spirit of humanity, of not of
Right.
humanity, but like the spirit of I guess sapience and sentience, because
Mm.
he doesn't think that this sort of pleasure, access to everything lifestyle is best. And so even though he
Hmm.
doesn't actually like agree with the people he's working with,
Hmm.
because they have a very diverse set of motives working against the culture, he
Right.
allies himself with this other force, we'll say, um, and tries to work against their interests, which is really interesting. Actually, he's a really I think a really well written character, and
Hmm.
even like the book I'm reading right now. One of the most interesting character, the most interesting character perhaps in the book is an artificial intelligence called Shoot Them Later.
Oh.
Yeah, and yeah. Anyway, we can move off this. I'd recommend reading the books.
It sounds interesting. Yeah.